You got everything? Phone, wallet, passport?
Yeah. I think I got everything.
You know she finna start crying, right?
Be quiet, Aubrey. Listen, sweetie, make sure you call us when you get there. You know I'm gonna worry about you.
All right. Yeah, I will. My flight gets in around 8:30, but I gotta get some Wi-Fi first. But when I get some Wi-Fi, I'll let y'all know.
All right, man. Well, you know what to do. Handle your business.
As always, we're real proud of you, baby boy.
All right. Appreciate it. Love y'all.
Love you too.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Life Across the Waters. I'm the host, Kendrick Perry, aka Mr. Certified in Person. Before we get started, I want to thank Hotel Catalonia for the hospitality. But yeah, we got a good, exciting episode today, man. I'm sitting with a 9-year pro, member of the Nigerian national team. Personally, one of my favorite players in the ACB, outside of my, I guess biases, my teammate biases and everything. A dynamic playmaker, man, a founder and CEO of JKG Worldwide. I gotta say it a little slow.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes,
You see, you got the merch on.
Yes.
Girona playmaker, Ike Iroegbu.
My God,
my
appreciate
boy.
you, bro.
Appreciate you pulling up, dog. Appreciate you pulling up. Before we get into it, man, just first game of the season tomorrow.
Yeah.
A new campaign in the ACB. Talk about kind of how you feeling mentally and physically right now.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. It's my first time coming back, playing 2 years with the same team.
Yep.
So it's something new for me, but I really like it because now, like when you go to a new team for the first year, you learn about so many different things, like new coach, a lot of things off the court, like where you gonna get your haircut, where you gonna go to eat, all these questions. But now, since doing the season in Girona already, I have all the answers to that.
Right.
And I'm just really excited to get a full season with 4Ts and our new coaching staffs and a few of my new teammates, and to get things going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely know that all too well, right?
Yeah.
Like when I first signed in Malaga, it was pretty much more or less the same thing. Like
Exactly.
going into the off season after the first year, it was just like I can kind of chill a little more in some aspects because you already know what your city's like. You already know kind of like you said the off the court variables.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that you came back, bro. But
Appreciate
we'll dive into that a little later. To start, you were born in Sacramento.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What was kind of the hoop culture like? Because in California, obviously you think of the Lakers. Maybe
Yeah.
Clippers. Maybe I can assume that you were a Kings fan because
I still am.
I was about to say because I know they had them dog teams back in the day with Jay Will, Mike Bibby, and the boys.
For sure.
What was kind of like the hoop culture like growing up in Sac?
It was extremely competitive, bro. Cause we had Sac, and then growing up, like everyone around me like was successful with basketball in terms of like getting a scholarship and doing this, that, and the third. So and then we had the Bay right there too. So just Northern California basketball culture was extremely high. I think right now it's like a little different, of course, that times happen. But growing up, man, it was extremely competitive, and I just really appreciated it because it got me to where I am today. But it was super tough.
You played high school ball at Franklin.
Yeah, for 2 years.
And then you ended up going to the prestigious Oak Hill Academy.
Yeah.
How do you think that kind of shaped your future?
It was crazy because when I was 15, so going into my sophomore year, I played at a Nike like Elite 100 camp. I think that's what it was called back then. It was like the best freshmen, sophomores at the time, and my coach at Oak Hill was my coach at the camp. So then when I played my sophomore year at Franklin, it was like an up and down year. And then the coach at Oak Hill, he got called my dad, and then we kind of made a thing, and it just happened. So I was real excited because I always knew about Oak Hill from like Brandon Jennings and Kevin Durant going there, Ty Lawson. And I was like, when the opportunity came, I just had to take it. And it was tough because my first 4 years, I'm a Cali kid, bro. Like I see sun all the time.
Right.
Going to Oak Hill, like after the first 2 months, I'm seeing snow everywhere. Like I was not used to that at all. So, but now Oak Hill was crazy because all we did was play basketball 3-4 times a day. At morning, at 5, I would wake up at 5 in the morning, play basketball before school started. At lunch, sometimes I would even get another workout in after practice, or no, during practice I would get, of course, the practice time in, and then after dinner, that's when it was the most fun because we had a lot of different teams, a lot of kids going there, but we had like different. We had the gold team, which everyone saw, the national team. Then we had basically like a JV and freshman team. But then after dinner, everybody would just show up to the gym and we just hoop. So we just played all day, and it really got me prepared for college. And right when I got to college, I was like, everything was easy for me because I already knew how like living away from home, that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but just kind of talk about, being at a prestigious academy like that. When you're looking up, maybe you walking around campus and you seeing pictures of Ty Lawson, Brandon Jennings, and all these premier primetime point guards who had, hell of careers in their own right.
For sure.
And now you kind of walk in the same halls as them. What was kind of like that structure, like just being in that type of environment where like greatness came from it?
It was cool, but to be honest, bro, like you walking down the hall. I mean, even not in the hall, you go on the court, there would be on one of the walls the McDonald's All-American list. And you've seen all these names, all these players, and it's like, man, like I wanna do that.
Right.
Like, I wanna get my name on there. And as a young kid, like it kind of built like some type of anxiety sometimes for me, because like, yeah, I'm getting scholarships, I'm getting like highly ranked and stuff, but it's like my team was so good. Especially my junior year, we won the national championship my junior year. We went 44-0. My team was so good, like I barely even played that year, but I knew I was nice.
Right.
But there was like really nothing I could do to get on the court sometimes because everyone ahead of me was older than me and they was nice too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing behind Tyler Lewis, who averaged 10 and 10. He was our McDonald's All-American. Jordan Adams, he went to do 2 years at UCLA. He was like our second leading scorer. And Devontae Smith-Rivera, he went to Georgetown and ended up being top 3 in scoring in their program.
Okay.
So we had all these guys ahead of me, and it's like, bro, like, and I'm working so hard, but there's really nothing I could do. So it's like, it was tough for me at the time, but I ended up figuring it out and stuff like that. But I just remember like every time I see this trophy, this national championship, this MVP, this scoring title from some guy in the past, it was just like extra motivation to just stay in the gym.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, obviously that probably helps you, transition to college
for sure,
a little easier.
100%.
Just like you said, just building up that constant habit of just like being in the gym and continuing to work on your craft no matter what. I mean, of course, taking care of your academic responsibilities as well. But, I would think that an academy or an institution like Oak Hill really stresses that, you know what I mean? Whereas like me, if you just went to a regular, public high school, it might not have been the same thing. It's kind of like, yeah, you can get in the gym at the same time, but like also people are hanging out after school as well.
Yeah, it was the thing about the academics at Oak Hill, it wasn't regular. Like teachers weren't just giving us grades.
Right.
It was way different and the way they did their grading scale was way different than anything I've seen. Like I remember like a 93 to 100 was an A. And I think it was a 86 to 92 was a B. And then like a 77 to 85 was a C.
Yeah.
So for the first 2 months, I'm thinking I'm getting A's and B's. I'm really getting B's and C's just because off the grading scale is different from California where they're 90 to 100, 80 to 90 type of thing. So and the academics was tough, bro. Like we had this crazy schedule. Like we played 44 games. Yeah. We're traveling. We played like more games than some
44
college
games. 40. Not to cut you off. 44 games in high school. For those of y'all that don't know, is crazy. Because I think the most that I played was, and we got to. I mean, I didn't have no crazy success in high school, but I think the most I might have played was 30.
Yeah.
So an extra 14 games on top of that is crazy.
Crazy, bro. And we're flying to most of our games and stuff.
Right.
So it was just it was tough because we got to do our homework on the road, and when we come back, it's like no excuses.
Yeah, you can't miss a beat.
Yeah, you can't miss a beat. And the teachers like because so many players have come before us
Right.
and have done it.
Right.
They're like, all right, you got to do it too.
Right.
So
Right.
like we end up having to do it also. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got it done. But it was like I said, it prepared me for college. Like I didn't feel like college was anything I haven't seen before because of Oak Hill.
So transitioning to college, you went to Washington State all 4 years. Just talk about what that was kind of like stepping on campus for the first time and, you know, adjusting to, I'm sure there was some type of adjustment and learning curve. Because like you said, Oak Hill did a good job of preparing you for that. But again, you know, it's just a different level of hoop now, you know what I mean?
Different for sure.
And it's one of those situations where like, all right, you coming in as a wide-eyed freshman, you still got to prove yourself. I don't care what you did in high school. It was cute, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
but
100%.
now you going up against real deal players.
Yeah.
So kind of talk about what that was like.
It was crazy because like especially in the Pac-12 now before it started breaking up or whatever, but playing the Pac-12 like you're playing against guys that like a few months later they're going to the league.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was extremely competitive, bro, and like seeing those guys and having good games against them was just like yo, like if I get more consistent with this, like I could do this for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was still extremely tough. Like anyone that played D1, D2, or wherever, like them summer workouts at wherever you're at, crazy, bro. Like, especially at Washington State, we was in the sand pit. I remember my freshman year, like, wow, like, bro, what's going on, bro? Like, it was like those first few months were insane. And then, but I adjusted, of course, and my freshman year was cool, and then ended up just really growing and maturing on and off the court as college went on.
Yeah, because I mean, the biggest thing I think about college isn't necessarily the basketball stuff.
Yeah,
because if you get to that point, more or less, you're going to have that same discipline and that same structure to come in. Know when you can get in the gym. Know when you got to go to study hall and all that.
Exactly.
It's the extra stuff.
Exactly.
Like it's Friday night, all your classes is done, and you got to make a choice to either hit this party on campus or, maybe spend an hour in the gym before the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not to say you got to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
But where a lot of people fall off is that they consistently choose the other.
Yeah.
When it's like, we're here for this reason.
Exactly.
Not to say you can't do both, but you just got to prioritize. The biggest thing is like prioritizing your time in college. You can still do everything you want to for the most part.
That's the thing, man. I don't think people realize it's like sometimes I'm not saying partying and stuff is necessary, but I do think you have to have a life outside of what you do,
hoop. Yeah.
So it gives you more energy to do what it is you're there to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like if you gotta go to the gym, for 2 hours, leave the gym at 1 a.m., go to a party for 30, 45 minutes, and then go home.
Right.
Cool. But the thing is, what do you do when you're there?
Mm-hmm.
Are you drinking? Are you taking 10 shots or whatever? Or maybe you're drinking a bottle of water and just hanging out with your teammates.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a
little things like that
balance.
Matter.
You gotta find that balance and what works for you. But like you said, when people choose the other more than the main thing, that's where you see guys start to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that too many times where they just can't control themselves. But when you can have fun. Like you can have fun on the court, and you can have fun off the court, and make it work for you.
Yeah, facts. What do you think was the biggest thing you learned just at your time at Washington State?
Man, it's for me, I feel like I really learned how to be a people person, and really start to really understand that it's the world isn't about what you know. It's always about who you know, bro. Like if you can relate to different type of crowds, then maybe when you need a favor from this guy to get someone so and so a job, you can be that intro to them.
Right.
And then that person more times than not is gonna pay it forward to you in some type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like for me, I really learned how to just grow in myself and really be a people person to others, and also handle my business when it's time for me to handle my business in terms of putting my hours into the gym, making sure I do my thing on the court, and when it's time for me to just be around others and be a people person, learn how to do that too. So yeah, Washington State really molded me into really learn how to express myself.
You know, I think that's interesting you say that, because for me, like, it took me a while even after I was in college, it took me a while to kind of, like you said, become that kind of people's person, because I've always had the same friends since I was young.
Yeah.
And for the most part, my best friends have always been like guys that I hoop with.
Yeah.
So like when I meet other people that may not share the same quote unquote interests as me, it's hard. It had always been hard for me to kind of make friends, and I'm always thinking, like, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking there's like an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And it was definitely an unhealthy way of me thinking, but that was just my reality at the time.
For
You know what I mean?
sure.
Like I was just kind of always wired that way. But I think it's good that you say that, because, like you said before, like, it has to be more than just basketball in terms of life too. Like, all your relationships can't be basketball based.
100%,
you know what I'm saying?
bro.
Or if they are basketball based, they can't just be only about basketball, because when that's taken away, what's the foundation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've come to realize, like, the more I've been overseas and met so many different people, is like I have a lot of genuine relationships now that are just based off of genuineness and a real foundation.
Just you being
and
yourself.
Me being a man and you being a woman or a man as well. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I think that is extremely key in life. So the fact that you were able to kind of figure that out throughout your 4 years in college, I think you were damn near ahead of the curve in terms of life off the court.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
But moving on though, getting into the pro career now, you went undrafted in 2017, but you spent the preseason with the LA Clippers, but then ultimately went to spend time with their affiliate. What's the name? The Agua Caliente.
Yeah, yeah. I almost forgot for a second. It's been so long, bro. Yeah.
Nah, don't worry. I got my notes right here, bro. So I'll make sure I don't miss a beat. What was that off season like after the senior year in college? You know, the season's over.
That's a good question.
And you know, were there thoughts during the season of like, all right, there are whispers of maybe I can go pro, or I can maybe get drafted or whatever? Or was it just like damn near like my situation was like, I'm not trying to be done hooping yet, so I'm just trying to make something shake, and then we'll see what comes from it?
The thing is, bro, it's like I'm running back even like to high school. Like before I went to Oak Hill, I had no idea, no knowledge of college basketball for real. It was like what I would see on NBA, on like TNT, those games. So I was just thinking like, okay, get to the NBA. And then when I entered high school, okay, gotta get the best players get offers. So now I gotta get an offer.
Right.
So then I was like, okay, cool. Got some offers. Went to Washington State. And while I was in Washington State, it was like my mind was so fixated on trying to make Washington State the best team I could make it and just have a good season for myself.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking about pro this, pro that until like after my junior year, this one agent texted me and was like, yo, I think you can be a pro, bro. Like, I think I'm going to talk to these teams and get like some information and see what you need to work on. And he went and got this information and had like a list of things he thinks I should work on. And I put that work in for my senior year. And then during my senior year, I had a week. I was going crazy. I think I averaged like 22-8 or something like that. And then that next week we went to LA. And then Wasserman, big time agency, for those that don't know, they came to my team's hotel, just like right now, and wanted to have a meeting with me and my dad and my trainer at the time. So that's when I was like, okay, so
this could be real.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, because before that I had like you said, I just want to keep playing basketball, bro.
Right.
So then right after the season ended, they flew me out to Santa Monica. I stayed out there for like 2 weeks. They're training me. And it was just like, it was so different than like the pro workouts versus the college workouts. Two totally different things, bro.
Facts.
Especially like me, I was like, they had me getting ready for the draft and all this stuff. Like, I always like stress this all the time to anyone going from college to wherever, or they're going to the NBA or trying to or doing whatever process. The 3-point line from college to the NBA is insane.
It's OD.
I think now it's a little different because they moved it back since we left.
Yeah.
But before, bro, oh my God, bro, it was so hard for me to get the ball to the rim. It was insane, bro.
Right.
So that was cool, but I just remember for like a second there was just like there's just like a not knowing part. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen. You know, like because before the 4 years, I'm like getting ready for college workouts, getting used to that. But it was just like I was like in the unknown.
Right.
So I was like, I mean, whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? But everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out. But I just remember that was just that moment was so weird because I just like I said I just didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah. No, I remember my senior year. I had a really good senior year individually, and I just went into the mentality of like, all right, this is my 4th year. I've been here. I'm damn near going out my way. Like I'm not leaving no bullets in the clip. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like,
and I felt like I deserved that with my time at Youngstown.
For sure.
And I remember a Cleveland scout came to a practice, and I was like, all right, I'm doing something right.
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying?
100%.
But yeah, it ended up not obviously working out for me, but I just remember that I think because again, like I didn't really know. It's just like I'm hooping. Of course I want to get to the league, but I understand my situation. I'm in a mid-major. We're not really winning like that. Like
so everyone got their own thing, but it's just like, yeah, that unknown thing, that just not knowing is like crazy time, bro. Crazy because because you got to college, you got the stipend checks from college, and before we didn't have NIL back then.
Right.
So it's like we had so many months just of not knowing anything, like because my college season ended in March, and then March, and then the G League that next season wasn't until October.
So that's a long time.
That's a long time to not begin to check. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was just a lot of unknown.
So before stepping foot in the G League, what was kind of your mindset at the time? Or really before even doing preseason with the Clips?
Man, the way that preseason, I've said it on a few different podcasts, but the preseason thing was so random with the Clippers. Like I just got a call after working out, and like my agent was like, "Yo, you're gonna be in the preseason game with the Clippers against the Lakers." I said, "Cool." Hopped on a flight, went to Staples Center, and I ended up doing my thing. That next day, they bring me into the office and they signed me to the G League team. Because before that, I was gonna do the G League draft. So I was just my agent was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do the G League draft," but then that preseason game happened. So I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I know where I'm going." And then the coach for the team called me, told me he was excited for me and all this stuff. So it was cool because I finally had like some stability in a sense, and like, okay, now I know what I'm getting myself into, and now I gotta go be a pro and all this stuff. But like the way I attacked that training camp and basically that season was like, at any opportunity, at any time, I could be cut.
Right.
So like I'm doing everything right, bro. Like I'm not being late to anything. Like I'm giving everything my all in the workouts, and I really ended up having a good rookie year with Agua. I think I finished with like 12, 4, and 4. The only thing was my percentages from 3 were bad because the distance was so crazy, bro. So crazy. But that was like that honestly, for my first year, I'm proud of how I handled myself because that was like a really good first year for sure.
Okay. And then, so that was a 17-18 season.
Yep, 17-18.
18-19, you get on that first flight, that first long flight overseas. You play with the BBL team, Science City Jena? Jena in Germany.
Yeah.
What was kind of the learning curve like going from playing in the States all your life to international? Let me not even say playing in the States, being in the States and living in the States.
Facts.
And, you get that first flight and, you touch down and everything's in German. And
bro,
it's probably a little cold out there, I can assume.
Cold. Hella cold.
What was kind of that adjustment like?
Man, it was crazy. Like, I'll say it like this. My first time going to a grocery store, just a regular grocery store, bro, I was in there for 3 hours.
I believe it.
Because I'm translating everything. I'm grabbing salt, it's sugar. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm getting all these different things. But it was tough, bro. It was tough. Culture shock for sure, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Germany is different. It was just different than what I'm used to. And basketball wise, like if you think playing in a system in college is one thing, overseas is a whole system too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was something that I needed to, because the coach at the time, he like you couldn't vary from what he had, what he wrote up. You had to do it to the T.
Right.
And it was tough for me for sure because everything off the court was so different, and on the court was just different as well. Because coming from the G League, free flowing, you got like 5 to 8 plays, but everything's basically off a read. You know what I'm saying? This now I came into a situation where it was like you gotta do this, and this, and you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So Germany didn't end up working out. I was there for I think 5 months. I left in at the end of January to go to Lithuania. But Lithuania was cool. Lithuania was good. Like basketball wise, it was fine. Like I had a really good coach. I was with the Lakabalis. They were Champions League at the time. And I ended up playing really well over there. But off the court was a shock as well. Like nothing against Lakabalis, the city and stuff like that, but it wasn't much going on, you know. It wasn't much going on. So it was really house, my apartment, gym to my apartment from end of January till May. And it was just but man, my first year overseas, bro, man, culture shock. As is to anybody that comes to overseas, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I think my biggest thing on the court with my first year, I was playing in Australia. Okay. So like the culture shock wasn't too crazy because they still speak English, whatever. It's still westernized for the most part. The only crazy thing is just driving on the other side of the road and the steering wheel on the right side of the car.
Oh, that's different.
But the hardest thing I had to manage
was the pedal on the right.
No, the pedal was the same.
Okay.
Yeah, the pedal was the same. But yeah, it was just the you driving on the left side of the street with the right hand. On our passenger side, that's where the steering wheel was. So that was a little strange. But on the court, the biggest thing that I had to adjust to was kind of playing with like other pros and trying to figure out like how I keep them happy
and keep yourself
and
happy.
Keep myself, happy enough. Because, bro. Of course I'm a rookie. I had some quote unquote hype coming in, but I'm playing with my guy Ben Madgen, who's been, an Australian staple for 10 plus years. I'm playing with Josh Childress, what I'm saying? His resume speaks for itself. I'm playing with guys who have been doing it for a long time at a very high level. So I'm like, how do I keep them happy? But still, I'm like, I want to do well too. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I want to do well too.
My rookie year, we had 3 guys. The coach was 36. We had 3 guys. One was 37, one was 38, one was 39. All those guys had been in the BBL for so many years, legends in the BBL. So me coming in, like you said, you got to keep them happy. Like one of my guys he's like a 2-time MVP, scoring champion. And then other guy, like defensive player of the year, other guy had been there for so long. And it's like, they got to eat, of course.
Right.
But like you want to do well too. So like figuring that out, but it's like you being the youngest, it's just like
and you being the point guard, so like you literally got the ball in your hands and you're making the decision every time. It's like, damn, like I ain't shot this motherfucker in 4 times, but I gotta get bro the ball because he the leading scorer.
Exactly, bro. I know about that too well, bro. That's so funny.
Before we move on from you, we mentioned Lithuania. Talk about the basketball culture because I think now that more eyes are starting to be, they're starting to open up more or starting to see more of the European game. You look at, Zalgiris, a perennial EuroLeague team, and the fan base that they've cultivated. You look at if you're watching the World Cup championships or the Eurobasket or the Olympics, whatever the Lithuanian national team is in, their fans always travel well.
Bro.
What's the hoop culture like in Lithuania?
Man, they love basketball. Basketball is like religion.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you get to play at Zagreus, man.
Yeah. No, that's different.
It doesn't matter what level your team is at. that gym's gonna be sold out.
Sold
bro.
out, and the facilities is
Oh
like
my gosh,
top tier.
bro. Yeah.
Top tier.
They
I
got
would
the
imagine.
Practice arena right there. And
Yeah,
stuff like
I would
that.
imagine that would be very close to NBA like type facility for sure,
bro. It's like playing for a team like Zagreus. It's like playing for the Lakers, bro. Like
Yeah.
I remember one time we were doing a Q&A with some kids and stuff like that, and they were like, "Who do you think would win between Zagreus and the Lakers?" And I was just like, to me, I was of course gonna say the Lakers,
right?
But it's like they just to them like Zagreus is
It's
it.
that,
You know?
for
So
sure.
like they love basketball in Lithuania, and it's like it's dope because like every game is gonna be high intensity, crowd's gonna be into it, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So moving on, transition a little more. Back to the G League with Capital Go-Go for the 1920 season.
Yeah.
Was there a little bit of, I would assume there might have been more of a level of comfort going back?
Yeah,
just because one,
sure.
you're back in the States, so there's
Most
that
definitely.
familiarity. But on the court as well, it's like you played in the G League before. You kind of know what to expect. What was that like?
It was cool. Because my second year and first year overseas was so up and down, so rocky. I just want to get back to what I knew.
Right.
So then me going back to DC, I was actually my rights were actually with the Clippers.
Okay.
But for me and my agent, at the time, we saw opportunity with the Go-Go, and one of the coaches really liked me and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Like, it was, for me going there was just like I was looking at it with really and was like, okay, John Wall's not gonna be playing. They had Isaiah Thomas at the time, and he was like really injury prone and stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what, like this is the best situation for me to get to the NBA. Because if I just do what I know I can do and know I'm about to do, then it'll be good. But then like some of the politics kind of got in the way of that, and then when I started playing, it's crazy. Right when I started playing extremely well, COVID happened. You know what I'm saying? But it was being back in the States was great, bro. Like being like, even though I am from Cali and I'm a 6-hour flight from my family and stuff like that, just being back in the States and hearing people. You walk by people speaking English. You got DoorDash. You got all this, you know what I'm saying? Stuff we're used to, you know. So it was dope.
Were you able to spend any time like around like John Wall or IT or?
Yeah, because we the thing about the Go-Go that was really dope was we used the WNBA, the Mystics. We used the Mystics locker room.
Okay.
And that's connected. That's in the same building as the Wizards.
Okay.
It's literally like the Wizards on this side, Mystics on this side.
Okay.
So like we would use the same chefs for their meals after practice. They would make us the same meals and stuff, same weight room. But yeah, John, he would, like when he was rehabbing, he would play with us and stuff like that. And it was dope because like playing against him in practice, like legit, like right when he started playing with us in practice, I started playing well.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, I'm doing this against John Wall.
Right.
I can do this against anybody, especially in the G.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it was dope, like talking to him. But everyone there was really cool for sure.
What were kind of some of the lessons that you picked up from him? And maybe not even from like a conversation, but just like you said, playing against them, seeing them, you know, maybe how they go through their routine and their daily habits.
Man, the thing about John that I really like is he always compete. Like, he wasn't like trying to be on like some too cool for school. He wasn't on any of that. Like when it was time to hoop, like he was ready to hoop. And this is after coming off an Achilles injury.
Right.
Like he was on 10. You know what I'm saying? And seeing that, I was like, yeah, like it's cool. You can have your fun, but as soon as you walk into the gym, like it's time to go at it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really took from him. That was really dope to see.
And it's dope too. I mean, we're going to touch on it a little bit, but you know, as much flack as the G League kind of gets, you know, especially now with this whole discourse between, you know, the rest of the world. Like I said, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think it's dope that, you know, people like yourself do have G League stories like that, where it's like you're playing against some of the best in their craft, and you know, like subconsciously learning from them and being able to pick up on stuff like that. Whereas, you know, if you were overseas, maybe you don't get that same opportunity.
Nah, yeah, it was the thing about the G though, especially I noticed my first year is every game someone has some type of NBA experience.
Yeah.
Whether it's someone getting drafted, whether it's someone maybe it's their second, third year, and then they gotta prove themselves in the G.
Mm-hmm.
Like my when I was with the Go-Go, I was playing with Jaren Grant, who's now with Jeremy, who's with the Panthers.
Jarian.
Jaren, yeah. So I was playing with Jaren Grant.
Yeah.
The year before, he was with the Orlando Magic when they had beat the Toronto Raptors in the first game of the playoffs.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going against him every day in practice. It's like, bro, like legit every day. Like things can turn fast for you. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't do it for me, but it happened when my boy Gabe Vincent.
Yeah.
Things just change like that, and before you know it, like you get in a two-way, and then you build on that, and the world's your oyster, bro. So that's the thing about the G League. Like if you get selected, bro, like things can, like your life can change like a flip of the switch.
Yeah, facts. So that next season, you went back to Germany with Rostov-Vechta.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that a little bit, but like I said before, the whole discourse now with Juan Toscano has been, you know, G League versus other leagues in the world in terms of being second behind the NBA.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I said what I said, I didn't think it would blow up to this magnitude. I was just like, put some respect on Europe. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know, being that you played both.
Yeah.
What are kind of your thoughts on that?
Man, you know what's so funny, bro? Like, cause I played with Juan in the summer, like, and when I saw the clip, I didn't know it was against y'all. I just thought he was just like at a random, like not a random game, but just another game. And then he just said ACB EuroLeague, and I was just like, Juan, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Nah. So the initial clip was after, or the initial quote where he said he thinks the G League was second best.
Yeah.
That was after I think one of their first or second games.
Okay.
So after our second game, they interviewed me.
Yeah.
And then they asked me about it. Or they might not even ask me about it, but they asked the question about something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, respectfully, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what
sure.
I mean? And then, after we played them in the championship game, that's when we saw the clip. You know, the clip of the timeout and everything.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I don't think that the G League is the second best league behind the NBA. The thing that people don't understand about Europe, man, it's like you can't just win off of talent, bro.
Right.
Like you really have to think the game. You know what I'm saying?
In a different way.
And think in a different way. And you see it even with this past Olympics. Like, you know, USA had to get right and get the best of the KD, Bron, and Steph. Yeah. Just to win and beat the world, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's not like how it was in the past, you know what I'm saying? So, now I don't think the G League is the second best league, because the people that hoop in the G League, they're given the opportunity to play the whole game, shoot 20, 25 shots. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what team you're on in Europe, you're not shooting 20 times a game. Right. Not, the most, I think, I'm not sure about last year, but like Mike James, he got MVP averaging 17, 5, and 5. Yeah. Averaging 17 points in Europe, even in EuroLeague, is insane,
it's crazy.
Bro.
It's crazy.
Insane, because you're seeing double teams. Yep. They're always throwing their best defender at you. Yep. You know, because most of the time in NBA, like, you'll have 2 point guards going at each other. Usually they won't guard each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like, in Europe, you can't. In Europe, especially on defense, you can't hide. You can't hide. There's no hiding whatsoever, or you will get exposed. Right. So I definitely don't think, if anything, just because I know Juan, from a pure talent level, we're talking about athleticism, I guess you could say the G League is the second most athletic league behind the NBA. Right. I think that's fair to say, but other than that, nah, I'm not rolling with that.
Yeah. With that. And again, you know, he's of course entitled to his opinion. Yeah, you know 100%. I mean? But I think maybe if he played a little more in Europe,
he would understand.
I think he would understand just how different it is and how respectable it is in a
Most definitely.
worldly view. My thing about the G, and I only played like 3 weeks in the G after my rookie year, so I don't really have much experience. But from my experience, the thing about the G that I didn't really love is like it to me it felt like not only am I competing with people on the other team, but I'm also competing with people on my respective team
Man, bro.
because everybody want that call up.
Bro,
You know what I mean? And it's
bro.
like you said, if you're one of those select few that are on kind of that radar and that list, it's great because the offense is getting run through you. Like when I was there, Willie Reed, shout out my dog Willie, like he was probably top 2 or 3 on the NBA call up list the whole year.
Yeah.
So we were feeding him, you know what I'm saying? And he ended up obviously getting the call up and playing
That's
the league. But like,
because that's a fact. Because I tell people this all the time: the G League is the one league that no one wants to be in.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, not even put the players aside, the referees, the coaches, the broadcasters, the fans.
Yeah.
like everyone that sees the G League doesn't want to be in the G League.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like people in Europe, like they want to be in Europe and they want to grow in Europe, of course. But yeah, the G League is, because I definitely felt that. Like you'll like your teammate could get in a call up, or you could get some type of love, and it's like you could feel some type of animosity because it's like some people, because everyone in the G League wants that call up,
right?
So yeah, I definitely feel you on that.
Or you can do everything right. I mean, this can happen anywhere, but you can do everything right, and like if somebody gets sent back down from the big leagues, it's right back to the bench. That happened with me. I was kind of finding my rhythm within like the second week, and Russ Smith ended up getting called back down. And it was just like
nothing you could do, bro.
Yeah, it was like you playing well, but
coaches be like, "Hey, I love how you're playing. Have a good attitude.
Yeah, stay ready, stay ready. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I just averaged 17. I just averaged 17 these last 3 games, bro. But now I got to sit the bench, bro. Come on.
Facts.
But nah, it's just, of course, that's the discourse now. So just wanted to. I think moving forward, I'm gonna start getting people's opinions on it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I kind of wish I didn't even say that just because
it's good.
Just because I mean I like it because like because of that more people are talking about European basketball, but like it's getting crazy now, bro. Like every time some quote or something happens, people are like tagging me online, and I'm just like, bro, I don't care no more, bro. I really don't care no more, bro. Like I said my piece, I stand on it. He say his piece, I'm sure he stand on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And we move on, bro. So
exactly.
But moving on, bro. In the 21-22 season, you signed in Israel with Hapoel Galil Elyon.
Yeah, Galil Elyon.
In the Winners League, first chance of tasting a little bit of international competition because you also played in the Balkan League.
Yeah.
Ended up winning the championship. Got MVP of the month of October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that did happen.
What was that kind of like, getting that first taste of like international play where you're not just playing teams from Israel, but you might be playing teams. I can't remember what the other teams were, but if I remember correctly, it might have been teams from like Macedonia.
Yeah, they're different countries, but it was cool, bro. Like for me, I just like to hoop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I just like to hoop, and it was cool to play 2 games a week, and I didn't really think nothing of it, like playing 1 game a week, playing 2 games a week. For me, it's just like
I'm not practicing as much.
We weren't practicing as much, but our practices, even when we did practice, were competitive and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like sometimes you're gonna be on teams and like the practices just won't be like, you just feel like you kind of just show up.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when I was in Israel, we had a great group of guys and we would go at it. Like we would practice for 2 hours and after we would play ones and stuff like that, because we just like to be around each other and like to hoop and stuff like that.
Right.
So being at Galil, it was great because it was the organization was real family oriented, and they took care of their players and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good experience.
I always say the best thing about playing 2 games a week is that not only are, like for your example, not only are you having eyes in Israel with teams like Hapoel Jerusalem, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Hapoel Tel Aviv, now you're more on an international scale where it's like, all right, we might play this team in Serbia and I might do well against them, and now Partizan looking at me.
Facts.
And then, or we might play this team in Spain and I might do well, and Real Madrid or Barca, so like you just never know who's watching. And I think those international competitions, I always try to tell people who ask me about teams and stuff, I always try to say, if there's a team that is playing 2 games a week, if the situation makes sense, then try to do that, because it's a bigger stage. You know what I'm saying, 100%. For the most part.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you definitely have more eyes on you, and just playing in those leagues can for sure get you exposure. I would even be telling people sometimes, because I had the opportunity before I came to Girona. I had like a list of teams, and a few of them did play 2 games a week, but then for me, it just worked out better for me to come to Girona, because it was like the situation, just me being in Spain being the best domestic league outside the NBA. And it's like, okay, I might not get 2 games a week, but I'm down the street from Barcelona.
I was about to say, you're still playing 4.
Come on,
you're still
bro.
playing 8 games against EuroLeague teams.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
It was dope. And even last year, correct me if I was wrong, but the Final Four for the Champions League, 3 of those teams were from Spain.
Yep.
So I'm like, those teams are getting at the highest level in these second leagues. I'm playing against these teams every week.
Yeah, facts.
So it's like, and some teams, they play in Champions League or they play Euro Cup or whatever. Some teams are done playing in those leagues in like December, because they don't make it to the next round.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I could go to this country, that country, where they're in Euro Cup, Champions League, but how's it look it's gonna stack up?
Yeah.
And then it worked out. Those same teams, they were done by December.
Right.
So I'm like, man, and the weather in those places weren't as good as Spain.
Facts.
I was like,
and the competition.
Exactly. So I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. So like you said, if it makes sense, go ahead and do it. But sometimes, like for me in my case, just playing for a team 1 game a week, it just made more sense, because Spain is Spain, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
it's all about perspective, right?
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like you said, like when you can sit back and analyze a situation like you clearly have, you know what I'm saying, with Girona, like it makes sense. It's the best domestic league going up against primetime competition. It's so competitive in terms of like, it don't matter if you're a quote unquote bottom team or a quote unquote top team. If you're not prepared, tonight could be the night you take an L, or tonight could be the night for a quote unquote lower team to get one of the biggest wins in franchise history. You know what I mean? And I feel like we've seen that, within these last couple of years.
For sure.
The next season, you sign with Treviso in Italy.
Yeah.
I spoke with Akachi, your trainer, a little bit, and Akachi, obviously, but they might not. Akachi and I have a relationship because our brothers played soccer together.
Okay, that's dope.
Growing up, so we've always kind of had that kind of distant relationship that kind of grew over time. But he told me about a conversation y'all had after the summer in Israel.
Okay.
Where he said, in order to take your game to the next level, you have to be able to make better reads.
For sure.
And just kind of talk about how that conversation went. Was there like any pushback? Because, I know how I am as a player, like, bro, I've been doing this for 6-7 years, bro. Like, I think I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's coming from someone who you trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, there might be that little pushback at first, but what was kind of that? How did that conversation go? And did you think how do you think it helped you expand your game?
Man, for those that don't know, Ike Iroegbu, that's my cousin. It's funny, I just saw him today at the airport. But man, the thing is, that's not the first time me and Ike have had that conversation. We've had a conversation 2, 3, 4 years before that, you know. But at that time, because Akachi, he of course he was training with he was player development with the Kings for a few years. So, and even before that, I've always respected his basketball opinion.
Right.
And the thing about me, I really don't talk basketball with too many people, because it's like, if you're trying to talk to me about who's better between LeBron and Jordan, I'm cool, bro.
Right.
But the thing, like, we can really talk X's and O's, then I'm trying to talk to you. So with Akachi, he told me I gotta make better reads. It was something I knew already,
Mm-hmm.
And because for me in my game, the way I kind of built my game as a kid, it was like, I want to be able. Like some people, they have to sit in the corner and have to wait for the ball to come to them.
Yeah.
You know, I always want to be able to build my game that I can go get it and do anything. If I want to this game get 5 to 8 assists, I can do that. If I want to get 20 to 30, I can do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be able like an all-round type of game, just depending on situation. So I knew that I had to make better reads. It was just time for me to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At a higher level.
Right.
So me and Kaz, we had that conversation a few days ago. He asked me what I think I need to improve on and stuff like that for this next upcoming season. It's really, now that I think about it, it's honestly something we do every year.
Yeah.
It just comes up naturally.
Right.
But yeah, I know for sure. But that's something that you can't really perfect. I don't think. You just gotta constantly just get better and better at it, you know what I'm saying? So but yeah, that's something I'm always trying to get better at for sure.
So what does that look like when you have the conversation and you say, all right, well, we need to learn how to make better reads. Is that just more reps? Is that watching more film on yourself or other players? What does that kind of look like for you?
For me, it's definitely reps. Reps are the thing you can't, no matter what you do, if you're trying to get better at something, you got to put the reps in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, it's me watching film on myself, and I watch a little film of other players as well, but I like to watch film on myself and really, okay, what can I control?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then, okay, like I picked up my dribble too early.
Yeah.
If I'm dribbling baseline, if I don't have nothing, just dribble the ball out. Instead of trying to pick it up, pivot, jump in the air, throw a pass like that.
Right.
Stuff like that. But I think that's all just comes with growth and growing and maturing as a basketball player. But just understanding myself really. Okay, like sometimes you don't gotta be the guy that's trying to get 12 assists.
Right.
You know, that's not me.
Right.
But I know what type of player I am. Okay, then now let's try to build on that, and that's through reps and watch myself and just constantly doing it each and every day.
Yeah, facts. I feel like the older I got and the more I kind of grew within my own development as a player, the more it was like, because I used to watch film on like everybody, and I still do on some regard, but growing up, it used to be Derrick Rose, Kyrie, Chris Paul, Rondo, whoever. But while I'm getting older, I'm like, all right, I'm established a little enough now in my game to just really like I don't need to quote unquote like add things from other players. I just need to get better at what I do.
What you do for sure, bro. Yeah.
So I think it's important what you said, like, and I think that's where younger players, and when I say younger, I really mean like college players.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you're high school, watch all the film you want, just because that's gonna keep you. I think that's going to keep you, at that age, is going to keep you motivated to keep hooping when you see highlights of players that you like. But when you get to college and you really start to think like about who you want to be as a pro, you got to start watching more film on yourself and not just good games. Because I used to do that too. I used to, put that game on when I had 25. You know what I'm saying? And I'll learn something from, how about that game when I shot 2 for 10 and had about 3-4 turnovers?
Yeah.
Those are some of the hardest ones to watch, but it's like, you got to learn from that.
Facts.
So now you had that conversation with Akachu going into that year in Italy. What was that season like? Do you think that conversation like kind of stayed with you through that year?
Yeah, no, it definitely did. Italy was actually a good year. I think that was maybe my highest point total of it in the season.
Okay.
But yeah, Italy was cool. It was the first time that like I feel like that was the most consistent. At that point in my career, that was the first time I was playing at a high level that consistently.
Right.
So I was like, okay, like I could really do this. Like I'm one of the better players in the league, So that really boosted my confidence for sure. And it was just Italy was cool, man. They got a great league out there. They got, of course, a lot of great teams and stuff like that. But every game was competitive for sure. Treviso fans are crazy. I love them to death. And but yeah, it was Italy was a good year for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So coming down the home stretch, real quick.
Yeah.
Here we are, more or less in current times. You signed with Girona at the beginning of last season,
Yeah.
and you read up with them this upcoming season. Your first year in Girona, kind of talk about what that experience was like, because like you said, you weighed your situations. You saw that Girona was playing in the ACB against all these premier teams, high level competition every week. What was the mindset going into the season, and as the season kind of kept going, what was that like?
Man, my mindset going in was kill everything.
As it should be. As it should
Kill
be.
everything. I didn't care what team it was, whether it was Real Madrid or anybody, bro.
Yeah.
I just like kill everything, bro. So, but nah, last year was cool. I feel like I really hit the ground running, like super fast out the gate. It was really exciting, and then I honestly feel like the season was just so up and down, and then like it's like 9-10 months, bro. So
Yeah.
you're gonna hit a wall at some point. I
Right.
feel like I definitely hit that wall. When was that? Right before the Christmas break? Right before, not Christmas. The February break.
FIBA break.
FIBA break in
Mhm,
February. Yeah. I hit a wall, and I was like, man, like you just gotta find ways to dig yourself out. And I
Right.
definitely did that. End of the season strong, but it was tough. We ended up switching coaches halfway through the year. I had a lot of different teammates, so it was a lot of adjusting that I had to get used to. But I feel for myself, I handled everything really well with it being my first year. With us having, like I said, different coaches, new teammates. Um, it was for me coming off of Italy. I feel like I really raised my level again.
Yeah.
And being extremely consistent over a year, and it was tough because ACB, these teams, bro, they scout super intensely.
Yeah, facts.
It doesn't matter what coach you have, they're gonna change the plays up all these different times because you need new plays, of course. So you got to figure out different ways to score, and you got to think the game, but you also have a certain feel for it as well. So I definitely noticed quickly, even though I did hit the ground running and played extremely well, I definitely noticed like, yeah, this is for sure the best domestic league, bro. Because there's some of the defenses you see, how hard it is, how physical it is.
Right.
It's like it definitely like shows you like, Spain is different. Because even when I went back home this last summer, like, bro, like I'm throwing passes behind my head, I'm coming off a pick and roll, throwing the ball behind my back, hitting the weak side corner.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just because I just know everything that's gonna happen.
You got a different feel for the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, if I would have grew up here,
Yeah.
it would have been different.
Right.
But nah, it was cool. And that's why we got Marc Gasol, like, and having a guy like Marc and someone I could ask questions to when it comes to like how he prepared for a game when he was with Memphis or just throughout his career and what he sees. And the thing about Marc, he's cool as a fan, bro.
Right.
So to have someone like that in my corner, bro, was just like unbelievable.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because that was literally gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
I talked with Cam Taylor a lot about his time.
Yeah, for sure.
And he had a lot of high praises to say about Marc.
Yeah.
And one of the things was, like you said, he's super down to earth.
Super.
The few times that I've met and we've had little quick conversations has always been great. So I can only imagine kind of the insight that he gave, players like you and Cam during y'all time there.
Yeah, bro. It's like any basketball question he can, of course, relate to. But the thing that some people don't realize is, like, for him, he played overseas.
Right.
Because he's from Spain, but he played in the league.
Right.
So he knows that that those things, that everything that comes with playing outside of your main country, being away from your family, you're trying to get your family wherever you're at, how difficult that can be at times, and being homesick, but still having to play at a high level. Like, he gets that 100%. So, man, he's an open book. And whenever I need something, he be telling me, Ike, you need this, I'm like, I'm cool right now.
Right.
But so yeah, Marc is my guy for sure.
Before we talk about this current season, I want to kind of touch on something you said about kind kind of going through like hitting the wall.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for, you know, more so for other players to hear and to understand, because it's a 10-month season. It's a 9-10 month season,
bro.
you know, for the most, especially in Spain. You know, other
Yeah.
countries is different, but it's a long season regardless.
Facts.
And at some point there's gonna be a time when you hit a slump.
No matter where you're at.
No matter where you're at.
Facts.
It might look different and it might feel different in different aspects, but whether it's mental fatigue, whether it's, you know, on court results not being what it is. And I think it's important that we touch on that, because like what was it for you? What do you think it was for you to kind of get you out of that? Was it on the court, or was it more so off the court? Or do you think you hit the wall?
It was definitely, for me, it was definitely on the court. Off the court, cool. For me, it was just like, I just kept telling myself, legit, JKG, shout out the brand, just keep going, bro.
Yeah.
And understanding that, like, it's not gonna rain forever.
Right.
You know, at some point, things are gonna turn around.
Right.
So you just gotta keep having the faith and keep being consistent in the work you do, and just fall back and just knowing that you're gonna get past it.
Mm-hmm.
And then ended up getting past it, and then, you know, Sky was just took off. So that's the thing. But when you're in it, oh my
yeah, that's
God,
what I was gonna say. It
worst,
just feels
bro.
like when you're in it, it just feels like there's no like letting up.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
like,
bro.
It feels like anything, like we shoot shots after practice all the time.
Yeah.
And when you, I won't even say when you're like hot, but like when you're not in a slump, you can miss 2 in a row and it's cool.
It's cool. It's good.
When you miss 2 in a row after practice in a slump, it feels like you done missed 12 shots in a row. And it's just little stuff like that. Like you get frustrated easier.
Yeah, bro.
And so it just kind of like, it feels like when it rains, it pours in a slump.
Most definitely. And it's even tough. I was even thinking about this today. Like, the toughest thing is, especially as just an athlete, when you're playing a team sport, bro, is when your team wins without you.
Yeah.
Like, no one prepares you for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like the weirdest dynamic that you have to deal with, is like, just like, you want to be happy, of course. You want to be happy. Your team wins. But then it's like added pressure. So when you do come back, it's like, you better add to it.
Right.
Better win. Because if you don't, then everyone's going to be looking at you left and right like, yo, like, what's good with so-and-so, you know? But yeah, being in a slump, bro, it was so tough. I remember thinking, I was just like, bro, like, when is this going to end, bro?
Yeah.
But then you just got to stay 10 toes down and understand that, like, this happens to the best of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, slumps look different for everybody, but once you get out of it, it's just like, everything's good.
And my quote unquote slump, I remember there was a moment during my first year here in Malaga where it was like, I mean, for the most part, the whole year, it kind of took me a while to adjust, because for most of my career playing, I was playing upwards of like 27 minutes a game, 28 minutes a game. And you see how our team dynamic is. That's not the case at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. There used to be times where like I'm playing when I was playing like in Serbia or even in like Slovenia, it's like, all right, I can kind of chill in the first quarter, because I know there's going to be a point. I know there's going to be a point where I can like go off for 15. You know what I'm saying? But here, when I first got here, I'm like, I'm chilling in the first quarter, and it's like, damn, I'm not getting it back in until like 2 minutes left in the second. Like, I look up, I still got a donut. Like, damn, you know. So I think that was a big adjustment for me in terms of like trying to figure out how I can still be effective in that limited, not limited minutes, but kind of reduced minutes to what I was used to.
Yeah, because in ACB, like most teams don't want anyone playing over like 25 for, you know what I'm saying? Because then you start creeping up to that 30 number. It's like of course, anyone's going to be tired. Mm-hmm. Then the defense won't be as good, and, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, I remember my OG, Kino, he told me that. He's like, yeah, like, as soon as I got here, like, this is how they want you to play, da-da-da. And I just followed him and what he told me. And that's why I started playing well from the jump, for sure.
Yeah. So, looking at this year, before we kind of get into the on-the-court stuff, I mentioned Cam Taylor, who played there, you know, a couple years ago, and he only played there 1 year. And when we went back to play, when we played you guys, love that he got, you would have thought he was there for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got his jersey in the Raptors,
Yeah,
everything.
he got super love.
But he always talks super highly about the fan base there.
Facts.
Do you feel that?
Oh, 100%. They show me a super love, bro. I love all the fans in Girona. I'll walk around the city, Ike, you know what I'm saying? And they always DM me trying to get like merch and stuff like that. So it's love in Girona, bro. Like even a few of my neighbors at my first apartment back there, they were season ticket holders. Their kids are always coming up to the game, stuff like that. So even the thing about Girona I really love, like even during the bad times, bro, they still stuck with us. You know what I'm saying? They still were extremely encouraging, and that's not the case, especially overseas. That's not the case in most,
for sure.
in some, not most, but in some organizations or in some teams. Like you lose a few in a row, like they start looking at you crazy. And then possibly even talking to you crazy.
Right.
Like we didn't have none of that in Girona, you know. So they continue to. It was like real family oriented. And man, I appreciate everyone that has anything to do with the organization.
I feel like Spain, you know, from my kind of outside looking in perspective, I feel like Spain is, in terms of each team's respective fan bases, is more so like that. Whether they're whether they're going through a good moment in the season or a bad moment in the season, for the most part, I feel like even like when we played Palencia last year, you know,
man, they was
those atmospheres was some of the best that I've seen.
Yeah, they be rocking.
And I don't think they had really any high expectations. I mean, of course they wanted to stay in the league, but
for sure.
No matter what their record was or what they were going through,
they showed
it
up.
Seemed like every game their fans showed up and they showed out. So
facts.
And again, it just goes to show like the real love that Spain has for hoop culture. And it's funny because, you know, obviously Spain is more so known for soccer.
Yeah.
But it warms my heart to be part of that and see other respective foreigners getting that type of love in their respective cities. Last question I'll have about this year, and again, this is a question that I'm gonna ask anybody, and you share as much as you want to. Do you have any goals for this season, individual or team goals? Because I know if you like me, I like to keep individual goals kind of close knit to the chest. I like to keep them internal.
No, I'll keep the individuals to myself, but team wise, definitely make the playoffs, bro. Like I gotta see what that's like.
Yeah.
I gotta see what that competitive, that bump is like, bro. Cause just in like the regular season, like definitely like the atmospheres are crazy, but I just know like especially when it gets to the playoffs, I feel like anything can happen, bro.
Girona's atmosphere in the playoffs would be crazy.
Insane, bro. So I'm like, bro, like we gotta see what that's like, and even like the cup, the halfway point through the season, like the cup, I want to do that. But I just want to win, bro. Like that's basically it. I just want to win. So and that's even above my individual goal. It's like I just want to win, because when you win, bro, like you could average 20. Like if you average 20 and you lose in Europe, no one cares.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's another thing that's different between the NBA and Europe. Like in the NBA, you average 20, 25. Like you can get blessed with like a super nice contract,
right?
Which is cool, good for you. Not hating on nobody, but in Europe, you average 20 and you lose.
You're gonna stay at that same
kind
of
bottom
level.
Because like people looking at you crazy, you know. But so like for me, like this year isn't really even about scoring and points and the stats like that. It's just like, bro, I just want to win. So and that way, everyone's gonna eat.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the biggest thing.
Kachi told me to ask you this: who won the most ones between you and your brothers?
Oh man, me and my younger brother, bro. My younger brother UC, he's playing in Kenya right now. He's like my sparring partner in the summer.
Yeah.
He actually taught me how to shoot, which is crazy since he's younger than me. But he got a super clip. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if you're younger than me, you're older. I can learn from anybody.
Right, for sure.
But me and my younger brother, bro. It's I'm really not sure. People always ask me like, who's better between you and UC? And I always tell them, depends what day it is.
Yeah, facts.
You know, like some days I'll get the best ones, and some days he'll get the best of me. But it's like, if it comes down to it, I also tell him this: I would say my younger brother's more skilled than me. And when it comes to spots on the court, he has more kill spots than me.
Right.
But the kill spots that I have, I would say I'm better at.
You're better at.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So, but now we're both in terms of but he like watch. Of course, we play against each other every day.
Right.
So like our games are very similar, and I just try to do my best with him in terms of like mentality and stuff like that. Because basketball wise, he can do it all, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But I just try to do my best to prepare him for certain situations and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Koch
Koch is funny, bro.
Yeah.
Koch
Koch
is
man,
funny.
he told me to gas that up a little bit. All right. Last thing we'll talk about the brand,
Yes,
JKG.
Sir. JKG. Yes, sir.
What did first let the people know what it means and
Yes, sir.
how did it kind of come about?
Man, JKG, man, it stands for Just Keep Going. And it's basically something for me. It's a big part of my journey in life. Because in life, no matter what you're doing, if you have any goals, any aspirations, like you have to just keep going. There's gonna be trials and tribulations on your way to that goal. You know, even once you attain it,
Right.
you gotta keep it.
Right.
So you legit just keep going and you'll get there. So and it's something that everyone has to do. You know, me, you, your camera guys, your video guys, the Uber guy outside.
Right.
He could be trying to save up for stuff. Oh, just keep going, bro. You're gonna get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter. So that's something that it's funny because like I never even created it to be a clothing brand. For me, when I talk about it, it's more of like me. I'm building like a community and a culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like so. Like I said, everyone has to just keep going, man, and it's pretty dope. And it started off as me just shouting out the homies, because I had got cut from the Nigerian national team going to Tokyo for the Olympics back in 2021, and this was like the only thing I felt I had.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I just started shouting out the homies, and then before you know it, they started asking me, yo, Ike, I want a shirt, I want some merch. So then I just went. I was like, all right, if that's what they want, like. I mean, I ain't saying no to any money, bro.
Right,
So, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
facts.
I started figuring out ways how to go about it the right way. And to see it grow from where it was at to even now, it's simply amazing, bro. And we got a lot of big things coming for the brand in terms of clothes, content, stuff like that. So I'm just excited for the future for sure.
That's fire, bro. I definitely got to tap in and get some
got
merch,
you,
bro.
got
I
you
see
for
everything you've been posting, bro. I'm like, nah, I got to tap in
I
with bro.
got you.
Even one of these ones, bro.
Now, these are
that's
coming out
fire.
soon. I got you for sure.
All right, we gonna wind down with some quick hitters, bro.
Yeah.
Your favorite country you visited so far?
Visited? Man.
It doesn't have to be basketball. It's anywhere you've been.
Nah, I'll go Spain, bro. Like the vibe Spain got, bro. I like it a lot. I like it a lot for sure.
Bucket list country.
Bucket list. Oh, I don't even know if it's a country. I got two, actually, Bali and Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to tap in for
That
sure.
that Asia vibe is different. We were just in Singapore and that shit.
Oh
was,
yeah, facts. Yeah,
that
bro. Yeah, I got to see what that's like.
Yeah,
for sure.
Nah, it's definitely dope. Travel crazy, but it's
most
dope.
definitely.
3 artists on your current playlist.
Ooh, Boldy James. Tap in, you know who Boldy
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
No,
I'm hip.
I just got put on, so
I think I got hit probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah, bro, I've been going through his discography like this last like month and a half.
If you got the tape, it's one with him and Nick Craven. Might look it up.
Is it the cartoon looking one?
Nah, it's like red, blue, and like.
Oh yeah, you gotta show me.
Fair exchange, no robbery.
Let me see what it look like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bro, yes, bro. Yes,
yeah.
bro. So tough.
Yeah, that's
so
the
tough.
one.
Yeah, Boldy James. What's on? I've been Lil Wayne's my favorite artist, so he always gonna be in the rotation, bro.
Same.
And then Boldy James, Wayne. And I got this B-side Drizzy playlist.
Okay.
You want Apple? Yeah, you want Apple Music? I'll send
Yeah.
it to you. My B-side Drizzy playlist is insane. So
Bet.
I listen to. So yeah, it'll go Boldy, Lil Wayne, and Drake for sure.
Bet. Best advice you can give someone living or playing overseas?
legit just keep going.
I was about
bro.
to say, I could probably guess that one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Yeah.
gonna be good times, gonna be bad times, but no matter what, just keep going, bro, for real.
All right. And the last one, someone you think I need to have on the podcast.
Man. Let's see. Someone you need to have. It'll probably be best if they're in Spain, huh? Or in ACB?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, give me a quick second.
Is there someone you think, maybe whose story needs to be heard overseas?
I would say Chima, but Chima's so good with putting his content.
I got
out.
Chima already.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
I got
Okay.
Chima already.
You good?
Yeah.
Who has a dope story, bro? Come on, Ike. I gotta think.
Teammates? Anybody from SAC?
Trying to think of my guy. My guy called Almond. He playing Bosquitas.
Yeah,
Turkey.
yeah, Besiktas.
Besiktas. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
he'll be dope for sure.
I've kind of been watching his trajectory from afar.
Yeah, because he's someone I talk to in terms of like getting the content out and being overseas and stuff like that. So I feel like his story or getting him on the podcast, I'll be dope. I'll be dope for sure.
Bet.
Yeah.
Kyle, tap in, bro. You
Yeah,
see
facts,
me, man.
facts.
I'll tap in with you. We'll make it work.
It's good.
But Ike, bro, I appreciate you
My
pulling
God,
up,
much
dog.
love, bro.
Let the people know where they can get at you and JKG.
Yeah, follow me. Be like Ike on Instagram and just keep JKG Worldwide on Instagram as well for the brand. And I appreciate everyone tapping in and tuning in. And yeah, man, it's been dope.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We appreciate Hotel Catalonia once again for the hospitality. I appreciate you, taking the time out, man.
Definitely.
Like I said, you one of my favorite newcomers in the league,
Appreciate you,
man. So I was like, when we could line this up, bro, I had to make it happen, bro.
For sure.
Oh yeah, for everybody asking me about the certified shirts, don't worry, I'm working on the logistics now. Hopefully, by the time this interview drops, they can be for purchase. But
I peeped. I was like,
I'm
a G one of them.
I gotta go through a few X's and O's. What size are you?
XL.
Bet I'll get you one for the game tomorrow.
It's good. Appreciate you.
Bet. But yeah, that's a wrap. Life Across the Waters, another episode. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. More episodes on the way. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, remember to stay certified in person and to just keep going.
Hey, fire. I like that.
You look like a sad girls in a place with the pretty face, itty bitty waist, and a fat cake. Let me get a taste. Yeah, we lit it. Get the bottles out the case.
Shorty got a body like she caught a case. Out of this world, give us some space. Boss, but I'll let you set the
Pace. I wanna get in. You look like a safe, 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 safe,
safe, safe, safe, safe, safe.